One of my favorite questions to ask Christians is, can you forgive God? It's such a wonderful question. Oftentimes, if you'll ask someone who claims to be a Christian, can they forgive God, they'll act surprised. They almost don't get the question. They'll say, no, 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 you're very confused. They'll say that God's all good, all loving. God, if anything, forgives you. You don't forgive God. And then I think, well, no, that doesn't really seem right by all kinds of accounts, especially from within the Christian story. I mean, first off, I didn't ask to be born. And even if my life has been wonderful and I have no complaints about it per se, when I look out in the world, I can see countless forms of hardship and of suffering and of loss, just natural disasters, birth defects, all kinds of ways that people have hardship again and suffering and loss and ultimately will very likely just die in the end. And then it starts to become interesting. The person says, well, no, have you heard of Jesus? And then I want to ask, so what is the story of Jesus? It sounds like a guilty God who, in order to expiate his own guilt, sacrifices his own son to help make amends for the wrongdoing he inflicted upon humans. Yeah, I mean, doesn't that seem like the story? I mean, how else account for the fact that Christians describe humanity as a fall from grace? I mean, it's like it's a punishment. There was a wrongdoing, and the way to explain this world right here is that the argument is that humans have done something wrong, but humans didn't create this fruit. Humans didn't set the temptation. Humans didn't have all these ambiguities in this Genesis story. It seems like God himself felt guilty. Now, if God didn't feel guilty, why did God send his own son? Why didn't God just forgive Adam and Eve and forgive people? If God is in fact all-powerful, why not just forgive people? Why did God actually have to send his own son to be sacrificed? My guess is that because people believe that there really was something that was done that was wrong, and this is an apology. God gave a massive apology, and the apology was sacrificing his own son. And when people say, I can accept Jesus, and they accept Jesus, what they're really doing is saying, I accept your apology, God. They're acting as if God did give a big apology, and the apology is some sort of, people, you got a raw deal, but I'm going to promise you justice in the end, some sort of retribution for all of the inequality, and that even the meek, the lowly, they will get their rewards in an afterlife. But the question is, what if there is no afterlife? What if you knew for sure there were no life after death? Could you still forgive God? Could you accept the Jesus apology in a completely different way? Can you say, I am thankful for this existence and for the model that Jesus serves in life, but Jesus doesn't mean that I will be enjoying a life eternal. The message of Jesus, perhaps, is that we all need to forgive God. I'm wondering to what extent people would like to argue against that. Isn't it the case that in the Christian story, we find a very guilty God who sends his own son to be sacrificed, and when people say, I believe in Jesus, what they're really saying is, I accept your apology, God. I wonder how many people, if they didn't believe in an afterlife, and they claim to be Christian, how many of them could forgive God? Or would they say, there is just too much suffering, too much injustice, too much hardship and loss, and if there isn't going to be eternal recompense and some sort of ultimate justice, I'd rather be an atheist, whatever that means, or I'd rather be a non-believer, whatever that means, than believe in a God who couldn't give the afterlife. I'm wondering to what extent people's religious beliefs really boil down to afterlife beliefs, and if so much of Christianity isn't a kind of death denial. It's a cult of death denial where people seem to be hinging the very gratitude for life upon a promise of a life other than this one. What if Jesus were to come down and to say, nope, there was a technicality, it was only virgin births that could be resurrected, that's why I'm here, But my Father, loves you. He wants you to know that He's given you everything you need to live a great life. He, in fact, showed me how to do it. I came down here and I thought I'd live for a little while amongst you, with my Father's sort of insights, and I tried to live the way that people are supposed to live. That's it. There is no life after this one. Can't you still be thankful for this world? Okay, thank you.